Aloha students, in this video we're going to show you how we take a 3D CAD file and turn it into a file that we can actually put onto the 3D printer. Let's look at my design here. Now you notice this is a ear saver is what it's called for those that have to wear masks to stop it from pulling on their ears all day, especially for medical professionals. But let's say this is your name tag. When it's all done, this has already been grouped. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the export command. Now this is what we're going to do for you. You don't need to do this. I'm just showing you the process so that you understand what we're going through. Now if you're in my classroom, you would do this, right? We're going to save it as what's called a .stl file. And what that does is it allows my printer to understand it. So we go, okay, I want to save this file. Now this is saving it as a tremendous, all right, let's cancel this. I want to save this as, we usually give it another name, so let's call it the ear saver. Then I'm going to go export, save it as an STL, and save file. Okay, so that's one part of it. Now what we do from there is we go to something called Quiddy Print. Now the brand of printers I'm using are called Quiddy. That's the name brand. And what I'm going to do is pull that file off, your CAD file, and drop it into this program. This is what we call a slicer. This is going to tell my machine how to move the plastic squirting head to make your product. All right? So you're going to see it load here in a second, and there it is. You'll see I get a copy of my 3D printer here. And I'm going to export the file. So I'm going to open up the file here. These are always in my downloads, so hold on, let me find out where it is. There it is. And there it is as the ear saver. So boom, there is my product right there. Okay? You see it showing up on my work plane. I'm going to do this one actually on what's called a Quiddy Pro. So I have to select up here which Quiddy I'm using. And I'm going to be using what's called the X Pro. Now I have options here. I can choose PLA or TPU. PLA is a hard plastic. TPU is a soft plastic. And we're going to make this in PLA. And then I have all kind of options that if you were here, I would run through it. Now we're not going to have supports on this. Supports are sometimes if you have a piece of plastic that's overhanging like this, you've got to have something under it, otherwise the plastic will just squirt onto the build plate. So it will build a framework of material, like a scaffolding, to hold your piece in the air. Let's look at some of the other settings on here just so you see. Infill. Infill is how thick do you want this? And we can go anywhere from like 1% to 100%. We can also say what kind of infill. Do you want to have it as, I just chose trihexagons. They're going to look like little beehives. It's a very strong type of infill. And the rest looks okay. The print speed is high. Let's just check the temperature setting. That looks fine. And everything else is good. So I'm going to go prepare this print. So we're going to prepare it. And at that point, it's going to tell me how long it's going to take to print. So this is going to take 14 minutes is all to print. And it's going to cost me, if I put in the cost, it's only going to use 2 grams of material. So I can actually calculate how much this is going to cost if I put in the cost per kilogram. So I get a little bit more information. Now the last part I'm going to do here is I'm going to save it to file. And I'm just going to save this on top of my desktop for now. And then later on I'm going to move it over to a jump drive to take over to the printer. And we'll show you that afterwards. Save, and boom, there it is. It is saved as the ear saver. And that's all it is. I'm going to take that file now over to the printer. We're going to print it out. Okay? Go on. All right, students, this is how we print your devices. I have it on my jump drive here. I've inserted it into my 3D printer. And for those that are looking at getting a 3D printer, this is a Quiddy Pro. It only runs about $600. The plastic comes in spools, 1 kilogram spools. That'll cost you about $20 to $30, depending on what kind of plastic you get. That would print, 100 name tags. So it's pretty affordable once you get the printer itself. So I've loaded it on. I've already loaded my spool of plastic on the back. I'm going to print this in rainbow metal, okay, so which is going to be kind of neat. If you come over here, I have a digital screen for this printer. We're going to hit print, and there's my ear saver right there. So we're going to choose it. It gives me a picture of what it looks like, and I say print, and that's all I got to do. Now you'll see right now it's aligning itself. The print head is, and it's going to heat up the bed, and it's going to start making our device here. So let's put that in another video, or we'll add it on here in just a second. Okay. Alright, so our print is done. It took about 14 minutes. I'm going to pull off the magnetic bed you see here. Your project will be on there. And we simply bend it and pull off your project. This is what's called a raft. And that's not really needed. And what I can do is I can print another copy or print somebody else's project. And here's our finished head saver for using a mask without it pulling on your ears. You saw how fast it printed. And that's as simple as they are.